square metres, and I think this is 170, so it's a bit smaller.
I can get quite close, mate. Really close. Yeah. Mate, I can't zoom.
I can't hear.
You won't hear anything until Brandon says something. There's no clean feed. Sorry, Mr. Steve. Wait. You've got a clean feed.
Yeah.
What's on it? Oh no, yeah. Okay. Right, mate. Bye.
It won't be up yet because I've got the green light.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Portsmouth, where any moment now the Type 45 destroyer HMS Dragon is due to leave Portsmouth Harbour. It has been quite a wait and it's been quite controversial. The decision to deploy this warship was made 8 days ago. We had the announcement from the Prime Minister Keir Starmer on social media. So getting the ship ready has taken longer than I think than most people expected. The ship had been in maintenance, so actually getting her ready has required an awful lot of effort by people in the naval base and of course by the sailors on board HMS Dragon. And here on the Round Tower in Portsmouth, many friends, many relatives of the crew members are waiting to give her a rousing cheer as she goes through the harbour entrance and sets off for Cyprus. She is being sent to Cyprus because of the systems on board. She has a very sophisticated radar system. She also has a very sophisticated missile system. In fact, as the Royal Navy has said over many years, she has the capability to track a target as small as a cricket ball going at supersonic speed, and also has the ability to engage multiple targets at the same time. That's why the British government want her out there in the Eastern Mediterranean. So at the moment we are just waiting to see HMS Dragon being turned round. She has been on what's known as the Upper Harbour Ammunitioning Facility for some hours now, and I'm told by a source in the Navy that the engines have been fired up and the tugs are now moving her round. So it'll be a question of swinging the bow round. And one of the interesting facts about this particular warship is that she's the only ship in the Navy that actually has her logo painted on the bow, that proud dragon. As I say, there are an awful lot of people here who will be waving goodbye to loved ones, and amongst them is Molly, who's here at the moment. And Molly, can we just have a quick chat with you?
Yes.
You've got your partner on board? So how would you sort of describe the atmosphere at the moment?
Tense, very anxious, but for lots of them it's strangely exciting, which family on the other end can't really understand. But they've done this, they've prepared for this for however long each of them have been on the boat for, so yeah, they're quite excited in strange ways.
Molly, you're telling me that sailors have been working very hard to get the ship ready to go.
Yeah. So they've been doing silly hours the last week or so, and they're really trying to give it their all, because there's a lot of pressure from other news stories, from social media, that they're not doing enough when they're just going above and beyond to get the boat out, really.
Because the ship had been in maintenance, hadn't it?
Yeah, so it was in dry dock. Within the same day that they were told that they would need to get ready, the boat was put in the water. It was all flooded out, and yeah, they got it going as soon as they could, which is quite a big task.
And we've seen some of the video which has been released by the Navy showing that they've been loading it with, not just the ammunition, but all the things they need, the food.
Yeah, all the spaghetti, all the pasta. It looks like they're gonna have bolognese for days. But yeah, I think that was over the weekend, so all been getting that on. So it looks like a lot, but I'm sure it won't last them too long.
So if we look down the harbour from the Round Tower, where we are at the moment, right at the entrance to Portsmouth Harbour, it's just turning around at the moment. We can see that one of the radar antenna is spinning round at the moment.
Yeah.
There's even a helicopter in the sky. So it's going to be gradually turned round and then brought down through the harbour.
Yeah, so it'll come down. What usually happens is it will come down, they'll blow some of their horns, it will make everyone jump, and then we all do a big cheer. To my understanding, almost all of the crew are standing, standing on top.
Yes.
And all ready for all of us here to wave them off and see them at some point. Don't know when, but at some point.
And you'll be straining your eyes to see your boyfriend.
Yeah, he's managed to message. He's swapped sides because he was facing the other side, but no, he's managed to swap. So we'll have to do supersonic eyesight to be able to see them. But yeah.
And final question from me. Obviously, they're going out to the Eastern Mediterranean, and we know what's been happening out there. What are your thoughts about that?
I think it's something we need to do, but it's not something that you want to do. It's a head and heart thing, really.
Yeah.
But I'm incredibly proud, and yeah, just send them all my love, big hugs, and I hope they get back safely.
Thank you very much indeed, Molly.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So at the moment we are waiting for the ship to be turned round. We can see that the tugs are actually sort of busy hard at work at the moment, and as is usual on these occasions, one of the things that tends to happen is that all of the other shipping movements around the harbour start to wind down just to make sure there is a sort of clear channel for the warship, in this case HMS Dragon, to head towards the open sea. It is always quite a long process, and in fact I think today the work of the tugs is going to be a little bit more difficult because there's a fairly keen breeze at the moment, and then the ship will begin its journey to the Eastern Mediterranean. That's going to take around about 4 or 5 days, so she'll be going down across the Bay of Biscay and then into the Mediterranean, past Gibraltar, and then all the way right across that far side of the Mediterranean, and that's really where the hard work will start. We know that over recent days the British defences in that part of the world have been beefed up. Obviously HMS Dragon is going, but we have seen that the RAF have delivered 3 Wildcat helicopters across to RAF Akrotiri. We've seen those unloaded. They are equipped with Martlet missiles, and they're also able to take out drones, and on top of that we have seen that the RAF has been involved in several engagements where they have taken down drones, and in fact there was an historic first for the RAF because one of the new generation of F-35B jets actually took down a drone that was over Jordan. And while all of those air operations are taking place, there's obviously a huge logistical effort to refuel those aircraft. We know that some of the Voyager air-to-air refueling aircraft from RAF Brize Norton and Oxfordshire have been closely involved in that. So a whole range of things have been happening. Here in Portsmouth we are waiting for HMS Dragon to go through the harbour entrance. But at the moment here on the Round Tower, at a quick guesstimate, there are probably 200 people here, and then there are others who are spread out along the seafront here, along the hot walls, if you know Portsmouth. So the area between the Round Tower and the Square Tower is beginning to fill with people. So if I quickly turn around here and jump out of the way just for a moment, we can see that very gradually HMS Dragon is being moved round. So I'll just stop talking for a second or two. Welcome to Portsmouth Harbour, where we are awaiting the departure of HMS Dragon, the Type 45 air defence destroyer, which is going across to the eastern Mediterranean to help defend the British bases on Cyprus from missile and drone attack. Now, here on the round tower at the moment, there's probably just over 200 people who are waiting to wave goodbye to sailors on board the destroyer. I'm joined by Lara and Dave, who have got, now let's get this right, Lara, your boyfriend and Dave, your son. So let's start off with you, Lara. You're here, I mean, the ship is beginning to be turned round. What are your emotions?
I feel very proud of him. I mean, he's put in so much hard work over the last couple of months into getting the ship ready, and especially, of course, over the last week since we found out that they'd be going. And I guess a bit worried. I hope everything's okay, and yeah, that he's safe over there.
Do you have confidence in your boyfriend, the crew and the equipment?
Absolutely, yeah. They've drilled this. You know, they've just come out of a FOST period where they've trained very hard to make sure they're prepared for anything that comes their way.
Yeah. And Dave, you were telling me that your son has been in the Navy now since he was what, 16?
16, yeah. He joined the Welbeck Military College,
Yeah.
and so he spent his life for the last 18 years, and he loves it. Absolutely loves it. And this is a chance for him to put all the things he learned into practice.
Yeah.
So I think he's super excited, and we're a little bit nervous, but he's going to be fine. Absolutely fine.
Glance to your right.
Yep.
It's coming towards us
There
now.
you go. Yeah.
Coming towards the harbour entrance.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Well, it's quite emotive. We've seen him go out on other deployments, but this one's certainly different in many ways. And it's, I think he's focused, and he knows what's required of him, and so the rest of the crew. So we're incredibly proud, and I know it's in a funny way, it's what he wants to do. It's what he's trained for. So yeah, very proud.
Yeah. And as Lara was saying, I mean, the people on board, I mean, the crew on these destroyers is round about, what, 200 or so.
Right,
They've been working very hard to get everything ready.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we haven't seen Henry as often as we might normally for the last couple of weeks, and they've got so many things. All the ducks have got to be in line, and it looks like they're ready, and they're ready to go. So I know that he feels ready. He feels the crew's ready, and the ship's ready as well. So yeah, fantastic.
And Lara, it'll be a few minutes now, but soon the destroyer will be coming past us here on the round tower. You're hoping to look out for a sort of, a final glimpse in the flesh.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got our binoculars. Hopefully, we'll spot him.
And you've been through this before, have you? Sort of waving goodbye?
Yeah. It's sad, but we know he'll come back. So
Yeah, it's part of the job as well.
yeah.
And just for those who don't know, when sailors are out on deployment, are you able to keep in touch?
It really depends whether where they are and what's going on the deployment. We'll have to see. We can send letters at least.
That's fantastic. And then that moment when they come back from deployment, obviously there's that huge relief and all the rest of it. Do you sort of get into routines when they're not on board ship?
You get used to not having them around.
Yeah, I think so. You just got to keep busy while they're away, and that's all you can do. Yeah.
And I suppose it sort of it goes with the job, doesn't it? From time to time, they're going to be off for weeks, if not months.
Yeah, and like Dave said, this is what he wants to be doing. This is what he's trained for, and it just comes with it. We
know it's going to happen every now and then, and like I say, it's a little bit different this time, but yes, incredible. Really proud.
Fantastic. Lara, Dave, thank you both very much indeed. I'm going to let you now concentrate on seeing if you can sort of spot him in amongst all the other sailors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Super. Thank you very much indeed.
Nice to meet you.
You tuck in there.
So here we are on the round tower, looking down through the harbour, and as we can see, the tugs are around the Type 45 destroyer at the moment, and it should be coming past us here in probably round about sort of 8 or 9 minutes time, just depending on the speed that it makes down the harbour. As we were saying earlier, the reason that this particular ship is going out to the eastern Mediterranean is because of the missile system it has on board, that very sophisticated missile system. You can see the different radar sensors on board, and they are crucially important to let the crew know what's actually happening around them, and if there are any threats, if there are any drones or missiles coming towards them, then they can activate their missile system to be able to take out those potential dangerous incoming threats. The Navy tells us that the ship is actually capable of launching 8 missiles within 10 seconds. And I always think it's quite interesting that when you actually look at a warship like this, you can actually see the pretty conventional gun on the front, which we're used to seeing on warships over many, many years. But what you might describe as the business part of the ship is just behind that, so behind the gun and then going back towards the superstructure. There is a sort of square enclosure, and if you look at that vertically, you will actually see the top of all of the cylinders where the missiles are stored. I was mentioning earlier that this is a particularly distinctive Royal Navy ship because it is the only one in the fleet that actually has that dragon motif on the front. All the sailors will be lining the decks, so they'll get a good view of us here on the round tower, and hopefully people on the round tower will be able to catch that final glimpse of their loved ones before they head out to the Eastern Mediterranean. That is a journey of 4 or 5 days. So progress at the moment is pretty sedate. Here in the harbour entrance, a lot of the shipping that would normally be coming in and out has actually stopped. They'll also be stopping the Gosport ferry that runs across. And as you can see, there's one tug in front and others sort of pushing behind, and those radar devices going round and round. When this class of ship was first envisaged by the Royal Navy, they did actually want 12 of these ships originally, but then because of various budget constraints over the years, that was first reduced to 8 ships and then to the 6 which were finally built. The front of these ships, the bow sections, were actually built here in Portsmouth, and then they went up to Scotland for the final assembly of the ship. So inch by inch, foot by foot, yard by yard, the destroyer is gradually getting closer to us. I think we'll actually see it increase in speed as it nears the harbour entrance. Looking across from the round tower, I can see quite a few people on the Gosport side, people in the Falklands Gardens and around the marina. They've also got a fairly good vantage point, and people here on the round tower starting to get their cameras ready also to get a shot of HMS Dragon departing. And you can probably hear the sound of that helicopter overhead. HMS Dragon is now getting very close to the harbour entrance, probably only a few hundred metres away from the harbour entrance, and everybody here is straining to see if they can see their loved ones on board. Also, all those mobile phones are now recording this moment for posterity. I was mentioning earlier that there is quite a strong breeze here which is blowing across at the harbour entrance, so the tugs pulling the ship, around about 7,000 tonnes of ship, pulling that and also pulling it against the wind, so they're working quite hard this afternoon. As it comes into view, we can see that there's quite a number of sailors just on the front of the ship standing on either side, and there are many, many more on the helicopter deck. These ships run about 150 metres long, and they're all designed around the sensors and around the missile system. They've got an endurance of, they can go for about 7,000 miles, so plenty of range to get them to the Eastern Mediterranean. Also interesting today that the government said that the Royal Fleet Auxiliary ship Lyme Bay is also being readied in Gibraltar in case that is needed in the Eastern Mediterranean. And we also had the news that the aircraft carrier here, HMS Prince of Wales, is being put on a higher state of readiness. The ship has been told it's got to be ready to move within 5 days if it is required, so that'll be a fairly fast turnaround. The decision to send this particular warship, HMS Dragon, was first announced 8 days ago, so it has taken quite a time to prepare her. But as we have heard from our guests on this live stream, the ship was in maintenance when that decision to send her to the Eastern Mediterranean was made, so an awful lot of work has been going on. An awful lot of supplies have had to be taken on board, and the ship has spent a long time at the Upper Harbour ammunitioning facility, loading ammunition and obviously making sure that she's got a sufficient quantity of missiles which she will use to defend herself and to defend other British interests, the military bases in Cyprus and other parts of the military setup in the Middle East. This is quite a moment as HMS Dragon prepares for her deployment. And this is the moment that so many people have travelled so far to see. There are some people here on the Round Tower who've travelled all the way down from the north of Scotland to wave goodbye to their loved ones. The sailors all standing there proudly, fingers being pointed towards the sailors on board as people here point out where people are. And people here on the Round Tower are now waving, and a few waves back also from the sailors on board. And you can also hear names being called out, and the ship is close enough really for some of those calls to be heard.
Be safe!
There he is.
Be safe!
See you, Bobo!
HMS Dragon has left Portsmouth Harbour, and I can really feel the emotion of friends and relatives here on the Round Tower as they wave goodbye and as the sailors wave back. The destroyer, as you can see there, D-35, the white ensign, flying proudly off the back of the ship. This is the beginning of quite a journey to the Eastern Mediterranean, and of course the sailors are very much going into a situation where nobody quite knows what is going to happen over the coming days and weeks. No one quite knows how long the conflict in the Middle East is going to last for. So the final waves, the final goodbyes, flags are waving, people still recording this moment on their phones. HMS Dragon heading down the main channel here, the main shipping channel, going out towards the eastern side of the Isle of Wight. She is on her way. It's taken a long time to get her ready. A lot of preparation has had to be made, but finally, HMS Dragon is heading to the Eastern Mediterranean. So HMS Dragon is on her way to the Eastern Mediterranean. It's taken, what, 8 days to get her ready, but finally she is sailing. I'm sure plenty of questions are going to be asked about the length of time it has taken to get the ship to sea. You have been watching a special programme from BBC South, and hopefully we have captured some of the atmosphere and some of the emotion as HMS Dragon has sailed out of Portsmouth Harbour.